free in the total sense. But many people are physically free to self-destruct. So that's not freedom. Many people have opportunities and don't take advantage of opportunities. So they find themselves short of what freedom entails. So we could be misled by thinking one thing when reality shows something different. And many times we know that Satan operates with deception, deceives, misleading. That's a force. So we want to keep that in mind, that as human beings, we are the only creation in this magnificent universe that has the freedom of choice. Everything else in creation is automatically locked into submission. That is, doing the will or the objective or the function that it was created to do. This is nothing new, but we know that everything that is within its original nature automatically brings about satisfaction, peace, growth, development to unlimited dimension. But as human beings, when we neglect our obligation, because we know that the Quran tells us to fulfill our obligation. So with our power of choice, when we neglect or when we are negligent, then there are consequences. And one of the things that Imam W.D. Muhammad, may Allah grant him paradise and forgive him of his sins, he diligently taught us for over 30-some years the duality of creation. That's a potent message. Because many millions of people, if not billions, of people today don't understand the duality of creation. In other words, there's positive knowledge and there's negative knowledge. So information can be fruitful, it can be enlightening, and in reverse of that, information can be misleading. And many people are not progressing or having trouble finding peace because of misinformation. Misinformation. They have information, but it is not correct. That's very dangerous. You know, the Honorable Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King stated in one of his books, From Strength to Love, that two of the most dangerous things in all the world is sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. So he focused in on information. That's very dangerous if people are sincere but ignorant. Or they have knowledge and they are consciously stupid. And we see that all over the place. To give you an example of someone who is sincere but ignorant, many times we follow our parents and what they wanted for us in life. They told us out of sincerity to get a good education, to get a good job. Now what's wrong with that? Is that today you have millions of African Americans who have done just that. They have become proficiently and sufficiently educated academically. We want to emphasize academically. They have become very intelligent academically, but they have become skilled to become an employee. Now what's wrong with that? If they are employees, they are not employers. And if they are not employers, then we can understand why we have one of the highest unemployment and underemployment rates in this country. No matter how intelligent we are academically, if we are not in business, we can't hire anybody. And what triggers from that is that people who are unemployed, they are more prone to other problems. They don't feel good about themselves, for example. They may not like themselves. They may have emotional problems and social problems, as well as economic problems, simply from not being lawfully employed. So a lot of things, there's cause and effect. We are talking about the effects, but the cause is sincere ignorance. That was a directive that we were given from many of our parents. Consciously stupid. Many times people are aware, but they are morally corrupt. They are intelligent and they are skilled in whatever area of skills, whether they're in medicine, law, government, education, the performing arts, vocational education, whatever. But if they are morally corrupt, many times they allow greed to supersede, and they follow a force that is called exploitation. So many times people with skills will take advantage of people. A car mechanic, a plumber, people in medicine or whatever, they may create a job or create businesses for themselves knowing that people don't need what they say they need. So that's a morally corrupt person who is motivated by immature emotions called greed. So those are different forces that I'm referring to that many times supersede, and don't misunderstand what I'm saying is it supersedes in what people follow, because that's part of our identity, is followers. See, it's imperative that we know who we are, and we were created to follow. That's one of our identities, is to follow or to submit. And there's a powerful African proverb that says, a people without knowledge of themselves is like a tree without roots. So it is imperative, absolutely necessary, it's mandatory that we have knowledge of self. To know who we are. If we don't know who we are, then we can be considered lost. And a person that's lost is at a disadvantage. And so you have millions of people, if not billions of people today who are following and don't even know what they are following. And if you're not following the force, which is Allah, then through your very nature, you're going to follow something else. There's no mix-up there. Either you're going to follow the positive, or you're going to be confused, misled, hoodwinked, bamboozled, and tricked to follow negatives. That's why people have trouble. Not knowing what they're doing. So the title of this talk again is recognizing. That means you have to be aware of. Recognizing forces that shape our future. So in the duality of creation, our future is either going to be positive